Alright, thank you, ma'am. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Evening, everybody. And we are from group 4, consists me as Ananta Abimanyu and my friend Alexander Gergamov from Russian. So we will discuss and present about the strategic implication of economic, legal, and religious institution for international business. The first is we will discuss about social institution. A social institution is a complex of positions, roles, norms, and values lodged in particular types of social structures and organizing relatively stable patterns of human resource with respect to fundamental problems, such as sustaining variable societal structures within a given environment. In other words, we can say that the social institution is similar to national culture. Social institutions provide boundaries and norms that guide both companies and individuals regarding appropriate behavior. Given above, for example, we can say as the IB emerging market strategy is an institution that avoids the absence of functioning market intermediaries. In Arab societies, have developed a system that favors building of relationships. Next is economic system. This economic system may be if we choose social major and when we in high school, we know the type of economic system and we will discuss it again in this chapter. The economic system is referred to the structure and process that guide the conduct of business activities that lead to production of goods and services consumed by the members of society. The economic system can be characterized according to the degree to which the government or private individuals are allowed to make economic decisions guiding production. And certainly planet economy, at the other extreme, private individuals are allowed to make the majority of economic decisions, thus describing a capitalist society. Now we will discuss about the types of economic system. Maybe we all know the types of economic system, such the first is capitalism, socialism, and mixed economy. We will discuss it again right now. The capitalist or market economy refers to an economic system where production activities are decentralized to private property right holders, or we can say it's or their agents who carry out these activities for the purpose of making profits. So the main focus on this capitalism is about profits. And examples who is using this capitalist economy is include like United Kingdom, Canada, Hong Kong, and USA. When applied to the case of multinational, the capitalist multinational exists to produce value and shareholders. And the second is socialist. Socialists are, we know the name is common economy, is one where production resources are owned by the state and production decisions are certainly coordinated. In such societies, the government owns and controls all resources. So we can say the socialism is referring to their government. So this government will decide what will be produced, in what quantities, and the price which product will be sold, instead of allowing the invisible force of the market, as the case in a market economy. The government's hand play a very visible role in all production matters. It is most extreme form, the common economy, is found in communist societies. There remain few common economies today, like Cuba and North Korea. The last is mixed economy. Mixed economy ideally combine advantage of the market-based and certainly plain economies. Thus, while private decisions about production are allowed, the government control in the sectors that is critical to national stability and security. However, many countries have found that government control of specific sectors has led to waste, economics inefficiency, and lack of accountability, also this responsibility regarding cost control. The more recent evidence, they suggest that more countries are move toward market-based economy. Now the legal system. The legal system is a system that refers to the unique system of regulations. I'm sorry, I will repeat. The legal system refers to the unique system that consists of regulations, laws, and rules that affect the choice made by individuals in any society. And this action is responsible for their decisions. For the MNC, and for those who didn't know about MNC, MNC is multinational company. So for the multinational company, of more importance is the international business law system is representing the law and rules of any nation. And this affects the type of business decision made in that country. Before we talk about types of economic system, there's also types of the legal system. The first is common law. Common law is based on the concept of precedent, whereby the law is applied after an examination of past cases. In common law, the judge stands to be very neutral and will allow lawyers for parties to demonstrate their cases. The lawyer will examine prior cases and make their argument to convince a jury of their position. In common law, the choice of lawyers play a critical role in successful defending a case. So in common law, it's allowed for the demonstrate is using the lawyers. Now we will talk about the civil law. Civil law, which can be traced back to the Romans, is based on a very detailed set of rules and regulations that form a part of country's legal code. Cases are decided based on the legal code, and there is usually no interpretations of law according to previous cases, in contrast to common law, where the judge is more neutral. In civil law, the judge is a key element in cases, taking on the role of lawyer in deciding what information is to be presented in deciding a cases. So in the civil law, the judge is more neutral, and the key role is the judge, not the lawyer. Now the last is the Islamic law. Islamic law, when in Indonesia, it's implanted in Nangro Aceh because they are the Sharia province in Indonesia. So the Islamic law is based on the Sharia, the law taken from the Al-Quran, Islam sacred text. Islamic countries believe that all humans must live according to the structures that prescribed in the Al-Quran. The Quran expresses Islamic ethic and the ethical duties in life. However, as you will see later, this also contains rules that apply to conduct in business, such as general guidance and the honor contracts, the behaviors. In Islam we call it akhlaq and adab, and the Quran is also about the commercial transactions. So in Islamic law, it's can implications in the international business in greater depth later when we examine in part religions. Now, political risk, or the risk of political. Political risk refers to the threat that social or economic factors in a foreign country may affect the feasibility and profitability of an organization's global operations. Political risk can take many forms. It can take the form of political interference by elected or unelected politicians. It can also take the form of an unilateral cancellation of contracts. In fact, many emerging markets have seen cancellations of airport management contracts, like in Hungary, Philippines, etc. As a result of political risk, airport management contracts tend to be more prone to political risk as they are public utilities that require large amounts of investment and are also very regulated. Now, like talked about before, we will talk about the religion. Religion is more discussed detailed in this part, and we will detail in some of the religions. Religion, the shared set of beliefs, activities, and institutions based on faith or supernatural forces. For instance, the rise, the, ri- the rise of this type of religions, also religion has a significant influence on culture. Most experts see it as an institution that need to be examined on its own merit. Most countries are now seeing a strong growth in popularity of religions. For instance, the rise of Islam in many parts of the world, the tremendous growth of Protestantism in Latin America, the sustained influence of Buddhism in Asia, and the continued role of Hinduism in Indian society. I'll suggest that religion has significant influence on how most societies and individuals within them operate. So for a simple way, we will go through into the religion itself. The first is Buddhism. In Buddhism refers to a religion tradition that focuses primarily on the reality of worldly suffering and on the ways one can be freed from such suffering. Gautama Buddha, born as a prince around the 6th century in India, founded Buddhism. The basic teaching of Buddhism argue that there is no self or I. Every person and everything in the world is assumed to be interconnected, and the impact of one's action affect others, or it's popular called karma. Now we'll talk what is Buddhism relation to business operates. In MNCs operating or multinational company in Buddhist society, we will find that Buddhism has strong influence on the work of environment. Buddhism is based on the philosophy that all beings are interconnected and interdependent. Such beliefs have important bearings with regards to how people treat each other. Buddhists see bundles companies and love as important goals in life. Moreover, Buddhism provides actual practical guidance to living according such high ethical standard and selflessness. The second is Christianity. In Christianity is faith based on the life teaching, death, and resurrection of the Jesus, and is clearly the most practiced religion around the world. The impact on the development of capitalism in Protestantism, a branch of Christianity developed by Martin Luther, a German monk, is seen as major evidence of the link between religion and the economic structuring of societies. Protestantism emphasized wealth and hard work for the glory of God and allowed the focus on goals attached to the economic development and wealth accumulation. This explains the sustained development of capitalism in Western Protestant societies. The third is Hinduism. Hinduism is a broad, inclusive term referring to those individuals who mostly respect and accept the ancient tradition of India, especially the Vedic scripture and the social class structure with a special respect for Brahmins. The Brahmins is the priestly class in Hinduism. Now in business aspect, one aspect of Hinduism that is most likely to have international business implication is the caste system, which refers to the ordering of Indian society based on four occupational groups. The highest caste include the priests, followed by the kings and warrior, and merchants and the farmer at the last. The fourth caste includes the manual laborers and artisans. Unfortunately, the lower case have been seriously discriminated against, and many people of the lower case still live in poverty. A recent survey by the Indian government suggests that around 70% of the Indian population is from the lower case. Now we will talk about Islam. The essence of Islam, as described in the Holy Al-Quran, is the submission to the will of Allah. Islam is currently the second largest of the world's religions and the first most gross religion in the world. It continues to grow rapidly in many countries, especially in Europe. The Islam implication for business society is when we look on the multinational companies on many levels. For instance, Islam has clear rules for the commercial transaction. It called the riba. Riba strictly forbids receiving or giving interest. The major reason why behind such prohibition is that interest represents profits gained without incurring risk. Such practice of forbidding interest are not just ideals, but are actually respected in many countries, including Pakistan. In such countries, government have instituted financial laws that see interest as illegal. For MNC, that operating in a Muslim country, the prohibition of interest presents a serious challenge. However, many Muslim societies have been working in profit-sharing plans to avoid the payment of receipt of the interest. That is called riba in Islam. And especially in Lampung University, we have study in branch of Rois FEB Unila called the FOSAIL, or Islamic Economic Study. Now we will talk about the Judaism. The Judaism, which has no single founder or leader, represent the family of religious traditions associated with Jewish people. The relation between Judaism and the business society, like other religion we have discussed, Judaism also has important implication for international business. For instance, Judaism has clear rules regarding many aspects of business. Multinationals are well advised to respect such rules and laws when operating predominantly in Jewish country. Human resource managers need to be aware of the Sabbath. Sabbath is the holidays for Judaism, which is in Saturday, which lasts from sundown on Friday until sundown on Saturday. In detail, retailers should also be aware of banned foods. For instance, the Jews don't consume pork, same like in Muslim, the Judaism also don't consume pork. Finally, it is also important to note that Judaism has a very positive view of work. Most Jews feel a hard work and has a good ethic associated with living an just life. The last is the Confucianism. The Confucianism refers to the school of thought developed by Chinese philosopher Kung-Fu or Confucius. I'm sorry if I'm mistaken in the pronounce of the name. Based on the ancient Chinese beliefs from these traditional Chinese roots, Confucius developed a religion that emphasized moral virtues and the importance of political involvement to make change in the world. It is crucial to understand that Confucianism, as it is the dominant religion in many of the economic advanced Asian nations, such in Japan, South Korea, and China. Confucianism is also important in countries with a significant ethnic Chinese population, such in Singapore. And the relation between Confucianism and the international business, the Confucianism has important implication. For instance, because of its emphasis on hierarchy, pity and order, management system based on loyalty, relationship, and placing the interest of the group over individual have developed. Some even argue that such qualities have led to the economic transformation of countries such as Japan, South Korea, and Singapore. Another important aspect of Confucianism is China is Guangxi. a network of relationship linking individuals with family and clients. Similar network can also be found in South Korea or Chaebol, and in Japan is Keiretsu. Because of the confusion emphasized on loyalty and relationships, business deals tend to be typically arranged among business that have already developed a relationship between one and each other. Okay, the next will be delivered by Alex. Go ahead, Alex.
Next slide is dealing with institutional voids. An important challenge for multinationals is to operate in environments characterized by institutional voids. Here we discuss some of the ways companies can prepare for institutional voids. Experts suggest that an important aspect of dealing with institutional voids is to ask the appropriate questions to determine which types of individuals voids exist. Next slide, please. There is some type of institution, legal, religion, and other, and some possible questions. For example, legal is employee mobility from company to company easy? Are the rights of workers protected? Does the local culture look favorably on foreign managers? Religion is, what are the dominant religions? Are there many religions? Do people with different religions so exist peacefully? Another question, is it easy for multinationals to get access to raw materials, or do consumers use credit cards? Next slide, please. So once institutional voids have been identified, multinationals can determine ways to best deal with such voids. Social institutions were defined, and you saw some of the potential effects of institutional voids and the challenge such voids represent. The types of economic systems and legal system were discussed. We have learned how much religion affects a person and society, and how important it is to manage and predict potential risks. Altogether, we provided you with some crucial information pertaining to the business environment facing any MNC operating in an emerging market. An appreciation of these factors is very important if any organization wants to maximize its chance of success. Thank you.
I think that's all from us. Thank you, Alex, and thank you everyone for your attention. I'm sorry, ma'am. Is it